Good morning, traders. Welcome to today's market review. This is Fred Razak at CMTrading. Today is January 14th, 2019, and today is Monday morning. So no major economic events for a day, but if we do a market roundup, looking at the Forex symbols, GBP pushes higher versus the USD, a little bit of a rotation there, and that's really on the back of the Dow Jones faltering at 24,000. Dow goes down, the dollar pushes higher. So that's really what's been happening, just this morning. But looking at the commodities as well, all retraces under that second resistance on that Fibonacci retracement that we set up. And lastly, looking at Bitcoin, it gaps down this morning as continued correction is expected. Now, we do expect the Dow Jones to continue its correction, maybe go back down to its lows, but let's take a look at what we can anticipate from today's trading. So we're taking a look here at the GBP USD. As you can see, we've hit this snag at 128.65. We had a nice little rally that happened of about 350 pips from the lows of some of the Brexit woes that have been, continued happening. Okay, now we're at that top of the range. Okay, we're really at that top of the range right here, as you can see. So the dollar getting stronger versus the GBP right now, it looks very likely. Okay, at 128.39, we could see a correctional move. Now, my go-to move is 127.87-ish level, and that's where I think we could continue correcting ourselves on the downside. Now, looking at the other symbols, Euro USD already faltered. Okay, we had this nice little spike last week, the breakout move, and then it just faltered. It couldn't sustain itself. It just looked like it wanted to fake us out. And right now we're looking like we're making a double top. Now this potentially could correct itself back down to this 113-ish level. Okay, however, just keep an eye on this, especially that we've hit this snag at 114.81-ish level. So I do expect it to falter further down. Now, just as a news event, if you haven't noticed, the United States President Donald Trump has been exchanging words with the premier of Turkey, and that is obviously sending the Turkish lira a little bit higher here. Okay, now you can see it on we're looking at a daily chart. Now this move was some of the woes that were happening in the Turkish lira back in the summer, end of the summer, early September-ish time. This was really the inflationary situation that they had, and some of the economic woes, and then subsequently this was the capitulation of what happened with the pastor that they were trying to get out of jail. And sure enough, some of these issues will resurface in the actual symbols. So now that the words are being exchanged, look at what's happening to the price of the Turkish lira. It's pushing out higher, and we may see it push out even further higher if the exchanges get a little bit more heated. Both premiers are really very heated type of individuals, and so this drama may still unfold, and to our benefit, we may take a really volatile situation to the market. So just be aware of that. Okay, now jumping back to our regular stuff, USD CAD makes a correction finally, hitting this bottom of 131, and this is really on the back of it, and this is what I like to do. I like to pair some of the symbols, is the USD CAD to the oil. Okay, now if you look at oil right now, it faltered that second resistance. Okay, now this was the bottom. Okay, if we call that the bottom at $41 a barrel, we plowed through a previous resistance level of $50 a barrel, and then at 53-ish level we faltered. Okay, so we're retracing right here. Your next support level really is at $50 a barrel. Now, if we break this level, this area right here, okay, we could definitely see it back into this 49 to 40-ish level. Okay, this hasn't finished. Okay, so just be aware of that. If this does, continue, selling off and breaking through this, lower side, we'll see a breach through that support level. Okay, but so far it may actually look like we're setting up an upside down head and shoulder. This would be one shoulder, this would be the head obviously, and this would be the subsequent shoulder. Okay, and this is usually a bullish formation where we go on. So we're really at a very pivotal time in the price of oil. So just keep an eye on this and see how this unfolds later today. Now, looking at the Dow Jones, we're faltering here, 23,740-ish level. We hit a snag at 24,000. We couldn't break above it. Look, it didn't hit 24,000 at any single point during this rally, right? We hit 23,993, we hit 23,995, but never hitting 23,000. So we retraced about 250 pips down on the downside here on the Dow Jones. Now, looking at a larger time frame, if you look at a daily chart, this is a little bit of a retracement, and this is normal. Okay, we're hitting that 30-day moving average. Okay, so this little retracement is actually expected. Now, I did expect it to hit somewhere closer to this area. Okay, 24,300ish level, and then retrace. But nothing is ever perfect in trading, so you have to anticipate, for any type of situation. That 24,000, to retrace a little bit, that's normal. But let's see if this does correct itself, because the sentiments in the markets are still very bearish. Okay, so if this does correct itself, you have to keep an eye on some of the NASDAQ stocks to see which one is going lower. Because last week we ended up higher. Okay, looking at Facebook, we were on its highs. Okay, but at this resistance level of 144, remember we hit 121 low. So this still has room to go down on the downside. Apple, faltered at 151, low is 142. Amazon, we were at that top of that range, but not breaking out higher, 1675-ish level, and then, slowing that down towards the end of the day. So this still has room, and I believe we'll have a double bottom. I don't think that the bottom is actually finished off. Now, looking at Bitcoin, lastly, you can see that we have this further gap. We had this massive nosedive last week from 4,000 down to 3,600, and we took another dive this morning. Okay, another gap down this morning to 3,500. This may fill in the gap. Now, it's very scary trading this, to tell you the truth, because it's so thin. Okay, so you want to definitely size down and not get too aggressive with this, okay, on the downside, because this could really, flip your way in any which direction. Okay, so, we had that gap up, we closed that gap. We had this gap down, we may still close this gap. So that might be that next play of looking into this if we do close this gap. So I want to wish everybody a great trading day. Just be aware there's no massive kind of news today, so just take it easy for the first day of of the week as things progress during the week. This is Fred Razak. I want to wish you guys a great trading day. Thank you.